I want to talk about a patient win with someone who I've been working with for almost a year. And one of the reasons why I want to talk about this is because I think a lot of people come to see a naturopathic doctor with specific expectations. They want to lose 25 pounds. They want to bring their energy from 0 to 100. They want to sleep better. They want to, be able to do the things that they love. And while that is all possible, I think we need to shift our expectations as to what's realistic and sustainable in how we get there. So this patient came to see me. She didn't know she was in perimenopause yet because she had had an ablation years prior and had not had a bleed since. So she had no idea where her hormones were at. Her main concerns were that she had super low energy, a poorly managed thyroid, and weight gain that she could not get rid of. She was a terrible sleeper, had low sex drive, and had daily bloating with less than one bowel movement a day. If she was lucky, she would have a bowel movement every 3 days. Now, the reason why I'm bringing up this case is because this is something I see so commonly in my practice. And this patient exercised 5 days a week, strength training, HIIT training, ate fairly well, obviously left room for balance, had wine here and there, but my goal is to always help patients achieve balance in their life, and we're trying to create goals that are both realistic as well as sustainable. So working with her almost a year later, her bloating has gone from a 4 out of 10 to a 2 out of 10, and we've actually got her having bowel movements for the first time in her life daily. She's feeling fully evacuated. We've used hormone therapies topically after obviously doing some blood work to investigate the root cause of her concerns. And hormones have actually helped her in a significant way with sleep, with sex drive, as well as her energy. And the biggest thing is that energy is actually giving her the motivation to be more consistent with meal prep and be more consistent with her diet and get more consistent in the gym. The interesting part of this, and to a lot of people, this is really counterintuitive, but the most interesting part is that she actually went down on her exercise regime. A lot of women want to go hard, lift more, do more HIIT training, and this patient actually did the exact opposite. She was already doing HIIT training and lifting more, and we actually told her to scale it back, do more stretching, do more yoga, do more walking instead of just doing HIIT workouts with strength training, because it is hard on your cortisol and your stress hormone will respond in a negative way. We also managed her insulin and blood sugar by doing what I look at as the insulin glucose challenge, where essentially we're able to see behind the scenes. So the difference with the insulin, typical insulin testing, and what I do is I typically am looking at more checkpoints, and I'm looking at what happens before things become pathological. As a naturopathic doctor, most patients are seeing me and they're not pathological. They don't have diabetes, but they aren't fine. They sit in this gray area of, I can't lose weight, I have no energy, I can't sleep, I don't have any sex drive, my hair's falling out, they may or may not be medicated for their thyroid, and if they are, it doesn't feel like it's made a difference for them. And so I like to do this test called the insulin glucose challenge, where you essentially drink a glucose drink, and then you get checkpoints of blood work. So the first checkpoint is baseline before you drink it, glucose and insulin, half hour, 1 hour, 2 hour. And we're actually looking at what happens over a period of 2 hours to your insulin. Now, your insulin is responsible for getting your glucose into the cells. It essentially opens the door and allows them to enter, allows the glucose to enter so that glucose can get into the cells appropriately, get out of the bloodstream. Blood sugar is now down. But what happens is over time, and with perimenopause, with those hormonal changes, we can actually see that insulin resistance become worse and worse and worse just because of the changes in your hormones through perimenopause. You are more vulnerable to insulin resistance. So everything you've done in your whole entire life changes once you hit perimenopause, has a different impact once you hit perimenopause. And that's the reality for the most of my patients, the majority. We actually see how much work it takes for glucose to get into the cells. And by correcting that curve and allowing your body to become more sensitized to insulin, we can help shift your weight. Now, the biggest thing I saw with this patient was not actually the weight loss. I know that one of her main concerns was weight loss. At a year time, we're at about 8 pounds of weight loss. But the bigger thing is that she actually lost about 10% of her body fat, which that, in my opinion, is the biggest thing. The body composition changes are really what we're going for, especially in that perimenopause, menopause transition. And all of this was not sexy. It was not done over a period of 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 12 weeks. Sometimes when you have stubborn concerns, it takes time, it takes persistence. And with this patient, now she's able to consistently meal prep and plan and allow herself for some balance while actually breaking through that stubborn weight, the lack of energy, the slow bowels, the mismanaged thyroid, and everything else. If this sounds like you and you're looking for more information, I'm happy to chat to help you meet your goals.